What's up guys? Welcome to this new video. I wanted to do something different this time and show you my sketchbook. I recently filled it up and now it's ready to be shown to the world. There's some really cool sketches in this one, so I hope you enjoy. Let's get into it. Like I said, I wanted to show you my old sketchbook, just give you a quick flip through. And I always like to customize them a little bit in the front, so you always see a couple of stickers on my sketchbooks. And let's just dive right in. I think I've forgotten half of what is in here. So in case of loss, return it to Julian. As a reward, you get jam. Julian's jam, it's been around for a while, this Julian's jam thing. I've had it for a couple of years, really. And now renaming the YouTube channel after it, of course. Started on 13th October 2024, so not that long ago, with all the right intentions in the hopes of creating beauty. Always like to have a little quote, and whenever I open the sketchbook I get reminded of like a positive theme or something positive I was inspired to back when I received a sketchbook, because receiving a sketchbook is always full of, hopes of great adventures, great sketches, and usually the first sketch is always somewhat inspired by just opening the plastic wrapper, having the new moleskin sketchbook in hand, and just, playing around with it. You can see this piece kind of originated from that energy. Since then, I've spray painted this piece on a wall in Berlin. I made an acrylic painting of it. I made a couple more sketches, but usually, this was about the seasons really. So we have spring, summer, and winter. And fall didn't really fit in here because I like to divide things in threes as well. And just sort of this guy who's holding himself up, looking at himself with kind of compassion. I really like this piece. I remember this one. This is really interesting. I usually do all my sketches now with these blue pencils, but this one, I really didn't like the initial blue pencil sketch, so I grabbed the red one and just went over it. And the blue one basically disappears, but gives it like some sort of texture, which is really interesting. And this is where the motifs of the stars have seemed to originated. You see this dying horse type of thing, have some nice abstract elements, and then becoming one again with the universe and this whole cycle of life and death. It's really something that's inspired a lot of my pieces. And here is this guy already, the puzzling pieces guy. I already made a note too. Puzzle. Character, all past things define who you are. Everything led to you being here right now. So follow the universe. And if you do that, you find puzzle pieces and can fit them, in places. And everything you do, everything you are, everything you do defines who you are, basically. I really love the meaning in this, and this one just came to me during an U-Bahn ride in Berlin too. It's just super spontaneous, just what I was feeling right now. I had that spark. Really fun piece. Love to paint that up one day and do something with it. There's lots of them here. This one, very emotional for me, kind of depicting a relationship I had, and basically this action where you see yourself in another person. So basically the face is a mirror, and this dude is seeing himself in this girl or dude or whatever you want this piece to be. But for me, really seeing myself in another person was a really interesting yeah, sort of idea, and I wanted to sketch that. This guy I like a lot too. He's just lying there, looking at the sky, and his heart is burning for whatever reason. You know, really like a lot of these early sketches in this book particularly. Here I was experimenting with some abstract effects. So I had my characters, they always had these eyes and always these wrinkles and folds that kind of look like water or kind of have this steamy effect. So I wanted to see if I could transform basically, or have like a transition of these people to become ethereal or become something else. And ended up not quite liking the structure here. I think it's not flowy, but still a super important sketch. You know, sometimes you have to just try things out and see if they work for you. Same with this one as well. This was a very abstract thing. I don't even remember what I was thinking with this one. I had some sort of meaning in mind, but yeah, essentially there's some sand is running out, there's a time thing, there's also some, I don't know, it's very interesting. Feeling like this guy right now, just thinking like, whoa, what the hell was I thinking? And this was a quick doodle. So I love these sticky notes, they're just so useful, and either I write notes on them or I use them to sketch, and they're just everywhere in my room. I have tons of them, and from time to time I go through them, look at them, see if there's anything useful for me still. This one I really like too. I love how I made like the hair has this structure, and then everything else is very flowy, so it kind of stands out. But it fits, I don't know for what reason. She's conjuring the sword out of her heart. So, yeah. I really like pieces that are open like this, open to interpretation. This is probably my favorite drawing from the sketchbook, if I remember correctly. She just basically was following what I said about him, like these characters transforming into something else, becoming one with whatever it is outside of them, or the outside is becoming the character, however you want to see that. And I just really like that notion, and this piece has just something to it that I really enjoy. Again, horizontal one. This dude's falling, and kind of losing himself, which isn't always a bad thing, you know. This is a really interesting piece as well. I really like this one. All of these were done in the U-Bahn, which is crazy to me. Every time I look back, it's like, wow, I don't know. Some of these lines are just very good. That sounds weird, but yeah. Sometimes U-Bahn sketching can be a little bit, you know, the train moves, everything moves, and some of these lines, yeah. Also at that size, now I have a little one, so it's about half the size of this sketchbook, the sketchbook I am filling up currently, so yeah, it's crazy. Really like this one. Continuing on, though, I can see myself in your eyes. It's not that obvious. I thought it was more obvious at first because the big shape has the same shapes I always draw my eyes in for the characters. But looking back at this piece, it's not that obvious that this is supposed to be a big eye and he's seeing himself in this eye, and also seeing the universe and depicted by the stars. And there's some weird things going on down here, but I think it captures what I wanted to capture. For me, it's not that obvious, for others maybe. Yeah, these early on pieces in this one are really cool. Then I went on vacation, so back or out of the usual surroundings I used to sketch in, and it became much harder to come up with ideas all of a sudden, which I think is interesting. So not every piece in this one is a success. I consider this one not very successful. But I saw a lot of bugs crawling around and wanted to do something with bugs, but still wanted to have my character in there. And so we had a bug costume, which ended up not really working that well. Yeah. And then going back to my shapes, trying to find something familiar and trying to find something that worked for me in this place that was not familiar at all. This one really grounded me, I think, although I felt like I was repeating myself and not trying enough new things. This one was still a grounder for me. I remember, it's funny, you remember the exact places where you sketch these pieces at, and sometimes the mood you were in, and sometimes even what you were thinking. So I really like this one as well. I kind of wish this was the whole page, but yeah, I think this one came first, and I was like, maybe I should do a real piece with it. And it reminds me of a snake sketch that I did before, where the arrow is hitting the snake's heart, and there's two snakes as well. And this was again something really new. I wanted to dive into animals again a little bit and see if I can transfer the language I had developed with the characters into animals. And yeah, day and night still playing with these big themes, trying to see what they do and what they can give to a piece. Yeah, and it was fall, becoming winter at that time, October, November, there was lots of leaves. I also read The Name of the Wind again, which is a book I really used to enjoy, and I found out I still quite enjoy it. And so there's this wind element, the character with a little beanie, he's catching a leaf, and just sort of that energy. I actually took this one and made a digital sketch out of this one as well, but never gotten around to finishing it. Really like the sketch though, and sometimes that's all it takes for me. I don't have to make a finished piece out of everything. This sketch really is for me finished, and I've sort of said or explored enough about that theme. So same with this one. Again, moon and the sun, so night and day, stars for the universe. And this is how I wanted to feel. I didn't feel rooted at all. I felt kind of uprooted. And so I made this guy have not feet, but roots as feet. Remember this pretty clearly, but also struggling with this piece a lot. I think I was back in Berlin at this time and singing the U-Bahn and just not really feeling it. Wanting it to be spring again. Yeah. Winter in Berlin is kind of a weird thing. Hope you can see these. These are again me trying to figure out bugs, because the bug costume from earlier was bugging me. But yeah, bugs are such amazing creatures, but I think I didn't do them any justice here, so I abandoned them real quick. Yeah, this one, I was really beating myself up over something. I can remember feeling like a bad person, really, just for no reason, probably. And so I gave this guy horns, and for some reason he's floating in the air. just contemplating, meditating. If you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen the digital version of this one, which I rendered in Clip Studio Paint. It's a really cool piece, I think. I export some colors with that as well. Really nice. And this one, kind of, I was feeling this, sort of, he has this ball of energy in his lab, and then he is sort of in that meditating cross-legged position, and then I don't know, I think I abandoned it because I felt like it was too much of this one in it. So I don't like repeating myself too much, or whenever I feel like I'm copying myself or I'm not inventing enough new things, I abandon things. This sketch got abandoned as well. You know, not all of them can be always good and finished, and I'm not happy about all the sketches. Some pages are just failures in my opinion, and this one I think I wasn't feeling, or exactly like this one, I wasn't inventing enough new things. He was just a character in a coat sitting there, and there was nothing more, you know, no meaning. And so I abandoned this one. Still not feeling that great. I think this one came in the same sort of situation like this one. Sort of wrestling with my inner demons. And so this snake kind of coming out and showing me its fangs, but it's kind of coming out of my own body. And I don't have any ground. I'm kind of floating in nothingness, kind of battling it out, or trying to find a solution to the situation. Never really finished it either, because I might have gotten another mood swing. Here's another dude that got abandoned because I probably wasn't feeling it. So you can see at the beginning here, I was very I had a very clear picture, and I felt very grounded, I think. A lot of these sketches are very different, and they have a lot of introspection, and these ones are just a little too hollow. So the next day, the next U-Bahn ride or whatever, I didn't feel the need to go into them any further because they weren't important to me. Here's another test to see what the character could look like if he was dissolving or forming out of something. But again, this one felt kind of flat, so I abandoned it. And again, I think here it's pretty clear. You don't have to finish everything, and not every sketch is a success. And there's so many sketches in this sketchbook that I really like, but a lot of them are like this one as well. It's a very abstract idea that made me giggle. So I was at work and looking out the window, and there was this tree branch with other branches coming off, and it looked like these little guys that were all connected through this branch. So I pictured this as like one entity with 4 heads, or maybe even more, and they all have little legs and run around. It's kind of a cute little guys. Again, trying to get more abstract, trying to get away from my characters, trying to find other ways of symbolizing things. I really hope you can see this. Some of these lines are very faint, but yeah, sort of this dude who's like praying, and either the universe is coming into him or it's coming out of him, however you want to see it. Never really finished that idea. This one's kind of like fire and ice again. has this big shawl and then 2 elements and a star over his head. It's like a little ghost kind of thing, winter ghost. Proportions are a little off, but you've nothing that Photoshop can't fix. And again, trying to go into animals more. It's a common theme, is just going back and forth, trying to discover things in quick sketches, or you know, work them out in longer sketches, depending on what I need. Do I need meditation? Do I want to just doodle away, or do I want to test things out, make flowy marks on the page? Whatever I want to do right now, I give myself permission to do so. And I think that's very important in a sketchbook, because that's what it's there for. It's not for making finished pieces. It could be if you're into that, but I'm not. This was a sketch where I was interested in the idea of a leader. So he kind of, everyone has this shining light as their eye, and he sort of popped his light into the lantern. So he's not shining, but he has a lantern that everybody else can follow, which sort of has an interesting theme. And I'm sure there's more thoughts and more that I could explore with this sketch. And I'm not always thinking about these things. They just come out sometimes, you know, when I get out of my own way and just take the pencil in the sketchbook, and then something like this happens. And like, sometimes I'm really amazed by what's coming out. Maybe not by this. This was very abstract. Just like I said before, I just need to doodle. I just need something to do with my hand, and yeah, just arranging interesting patterns. Always interested in symmetry for some reason, and in those flowy shapes. This again was a complete failure. I wanted to do something more, you know, graspable. He was like sort of a mage character, had some symbols over his head, and I quickly abandoned it because I'm just not interested right now in this kind of art. It's a weird tree with floating bubbles. Very fun to draw, but I don't think there's anything in this one. And now coming back to characters, trying to change them up, see what other elements I've learned during that time that I was away from them. An abandoned character. I think this one eye is much bigger than the other, and you can't really erase the blue pencil very well. So, some skulls. Again, just an U-Bahn ride. Sometimes you feel very, you feel the eyes of all the people on you when you're in the U-Bahn, you know, and everybody, you look at your sketchbook and you just feel like everybody is looking at you. And so sometimes I just have to do something, but it cannot be something deeply meaningful to me because I don't feel that secure always. This dragon was another thing. I mean, I'm a lefty, and if someone's sitting to the left of me, I can sketch here, but I cannot sketch here because then everybody would see what's on this page, and I don't want them to. It's very interesting. Sometimes these sketches look like that. And this was actually the snake painting I did with acrylics. So this was one of the least refined sketches in the sketchbook, but it led to one of my most refined paintings. Because I just sketched this, I figured out, oh, I don't know what birds look like, especially from these different perspectives, but I knew exactly what I wanted to portray. And so the image in my mind was so clear that I could just take that and, you know, paint it up, Clip Studio Paint, and then transfer it to acrylic colors. Really interesting thought I had behind that, because I was kind of realizing I was always doing something with my legs or my arms. I was always sitting kind of weirdly in weird positions. I'd like to make knots with my hands, arms, feet, everything kind of in weird positions that weren't that comfortable. Whenever I was at home thinking about stuff, or even when I was sketching in the U-Bahn, I was like in a weird, bringing my body in weird positions to bring out something special. So I wanted to capture that in a sketch. That's a really interesting theme. Yeah, when was that? I think this, it was just really a sketch about falling in love, you know? Just a character, and there's something in front of his eyes that is sparkling universe dust. I really like this one. It's just a quick sketch of a random thought, or this strong feeling of like, oh, I can't see the world around me, I can just see sparkling stars everywhere. And yeah, life was good when I sketched this. Also remember this one very clearly. It's just sort of this weird being that I saw in a reflection of a teacup. And so I took the teacup, I sketched the lines, and then he's got a mouth and an eye and all these kind of cool shapes and root-like structures with which he's holding himself on basically the two sides of the page. And who knows what's happening here? Maybe he's like a spiral character. Yeah. This guy is very happy, just carrying a bunch of plants. I love drawing plants. They're just so complex, and I don't think I have a good grasp on them, but always makes me happy when I can incorporate them in my sketches. And this guy is obviously happy too about them. Spoiler, this is a painting I'm doing right now with this character. Yeah, so this many-legged worm, like this crazy textures on its back and little horns and stuff, and just thought this one was really cute, so sketched it again from another angle. Just rolled up as a little ball, sleeping on its own tail. Yeah, really enjoyed doing these. This is just a quick sketch. Wanted to draw a mole, but remembered that I cannot draw any moles, so instead of looking up references, I just abandoned it. You know, there's always those two ways you could go. Do I learn to draw this thing now? Do I look at some references, images? Do I just wing it and something like this happens? You know, do I just wing a creature and it will become something beautiful, maybe something special? Or I just leave it. And do something else. This is a very failed sketch as well from, so we were eating those waffles. And so I was trying to do a waffle monster, but it didn't really work. You know, you win some, you lose some. And then a random deep thought appeared, so I had to make this more emotional type of piece again. This was a cool girl I saw in the U-Bahn as well. She was like crazy into it and just had this big earmuffs out and this weird, beautiful kind of glasses, and she was just feeling it, you know. Universe on her side and just flowy and She had all sorts of cool colors and yeah, stuff on her. Just really felt inspired to draw her, and I think the next day I just couldn't remember anymore how she looked like, because my brain doesn't work like that, and so I abandoned the sketch as well. And instead I drew this, apparently. Just another exploration of abstract forms, shapes. Looks a little bit like the inside of a cell or something. It's really cool. I enjoy doing these because you cannot fail at them, really. You can just arrange them and they might look weird, or they might look cool, or they might not look like anything, but there's nothing deeper attached to them. It's basically just moving the pencil on the page, you know. And so sometimes these are really refreshing to do. This is a more environmental piece, yeah. I forgot that was in there. Just this huge creature coming in, swooping, flying among the clouds, and this girl playing a flute. Maybe even conjuring or, yeah, communicating with this guy. And the weird bird with a big beak. Also abandoned. You know, some, again. Oh yeah, and this one. This one I really like, yeah. Stars in the water and this deer at the waterfront. And we don't know if it's the stars are reflecting, the water is reflecting the stars, or if the stars are in the water. And I can see myself painting this up one day, and there's something more around here happening that you can't see, but it's in my head. And I think it's a really cute creature. So I really like this one. Yeah. Some random notes here. Yeah, that's it. That's the end of the sketchbook. Thank you so much for going through this one with me. It's always a pleasure to look back on these sketchbooks and just discovering all of the beautiful things that are in here. And I always feel there's never enough time to give them all credit. So I want to paint a lot of them. I want to see them more often. I want to do something with them. But new stuff is coming out faster than I can really work on the old stuff. And which is cool, which is super fun and the way it should be probably. But yeah. Feeling a little sad that I can't do them all justice, basically. But thanks to YouTube, this is now on here. Thank you for watching this video and sticking with me all the way. I have a website. You can buy stickers if you want to support me a little bit. There's more things coming soon. Thank you for the support, for your views, for your interest. And I hope you liked my sketchbook. See you in the next one.